Hi, on today's show, we talk about the administration's continued assault on Chicago and Portland, Kristi Noem arresting the girlfriend of the founder of Antifa, apparently, and Pam Bondi's attempts to stay in Trump's good graces. You're gonna like it. Oh, hello, and welcome back to Even More News, the first and only news podcast, somehow. My name is Katie Stoll.
Hey there, Katie Stoll.
Hi.
First time doing this. Well, make up a name. I'm Cody Johnston. Hi.
Great
Good one.
improv right there. Quick thinking skills.
Thank you.
And we are thrilled to welcome a very exciting first-time guest, a comedian that you know from The Daily Show and Have I Got News for You? And his new book out at the end of the month is called The Man of Many Fathers. Thrilled to welcome Roy Wood Jr.
Yes, it is I. Thank you for having me on.
I mean, we're thrilled. Absolutely thrilled. Someone else who is also thrilled and who is also here, Jonathan. Mixed up that catchphrase.
Hi. Don't put words in my mouth, but I am thrilled. I'll confirm it.
Yes,
Okay.
thrilled.
We're all thrilled. We can all agree. Before we get into the news, I'm curious. So we're writers, comedians, and I think a lot of folks who are in the political news comedy world tend to be like comedy first from sketch shows and things like that. Whereas your half brother's an anchorman. You went to school for broadcast journalism. Your dad has this long history and legacy in journalism, and I was just sort of wondering if, like, how you sort of brought that in to your work now and at the Daily Show. If you notice that sort of difference where you have that background that not a lot of news comedians do.
It helps, but it hinders in a way because journalism can get in the way of punchlines sometimes. And I know there's a degree of, we don't live in a time where you can just be journalistically agnostic. You can, but it's kind of a bitch move, kind of a sucker move. So this idea of I just delivered the news and I like the way, I don't know, Barbara Walters and Hugh Downs or Sam Donaldson even would just give you news. Bryant Gumbel, you didn't know how Bryant Gumbel voted. You couldn't even guess. He just gave you the facts. You know, that part of it is gone, journalistically speaking. So, but in comedy is all opinions and all what I think we should be doing. So I can start with this happened and then get into the comedy. So I think for me, having both kind of skill sets, my setup and punchlines are kind of a little bit more different, or I can use a journal. I can present the facts journalistically and then go into crazy town on the back half of that thought. So that's kind of where I exist for the most part. But, I try not to have the same opinions as everybody else on stuff. If everybody's already said A and B, why are you opening your mouth? What do you have to offer that is different? Or report on those opinions. Take it a step further. And I know part of that is from my time in morning radio. And when I did morning radio, I was fourth chair. And when you're the fourth person on the show, you are the least important. You talk the least. And I was basically told my first year of radio as an intern, don't talk unless you have something funny to say. Literally, don't open your mouth. Don't just go, it's a sad situation, all right. Shut the fuck up. No one, we have other people on the show who can say all of that. What can you say that you know for a fact that three of us would never say or think of? Sit quietly and think of that. And that's what you say. And that first year of radio out of college, it literally shaped my writing style for the rest of my years because I didn't want to get in trouble. And it's kind of like any internship, there's some borderline trauma, PTSD, abuse. You open your mouth and then the host looks at you and goes, that wasn't funny. And then goes right back to talking to the guest. And it's like, ouch.
Yeah.
But you need that. So, I don't know. I just think that I've always prided myself in having the weirdest opinion or just the perspective nobody's considered. And if I can support that journalistically with facts and numbers and details, then I've kind of blended the two worlds.
That's a great answer. At first, as you started sharing that, I was like curious if it's changed for you over the years from the beginning when you first started in morning radio. But it sounds like this has all been part of your evolution. From the beginning, you're like, sit on it, find the right take, find the funny take. Also noted, I'll try my best not to go interject with, that's a shame or anything like that. But you're right. It is hard, especially now with an ecosystem that's full of people saying their opinions or regurgitating other people's opinions as well.
Correct.
What value, what new perspective can I bring to the table?
Yeah,
I think it's a really good way to go about thinking about it.
That's always been my approach.
Or everybody gets a podcast. We
Well,
could
they
do
do
that.
that.
Well, we
too.
do the opposite here, where this would be we would end the podcast right now. Don't say anything don't say an opinion that another person hasn't said. Oh, yeah.
I almost certainly will today.
Yeah.
Well, that seems like a good place to start talking about the actual news, and what a shame it is indeed. Jonathan, what is the latest with Gaza, the Gaza deal?
Right. Well, as of Thursday afternoon, when we're recording, both Israel and Hamas have signed the first phase of a peace deal to end the attacks on Gaza. We will see if this holds. The hostages and prisoners are scheduled to be swapped starting early next week. The IDF is going to move back to agreed upon lines. We obviously hope the brutality ends for good. We've been here before over the last 2 years, but this one hopefully feels a little bit different. If for no other reason than Trump wants to sneak this past the goal line before Friday morning when the Nobel Peace Prize is announced, and he certainly hopes that his name will be called.
There was somebody announced for Nobel Peace in Literature or something this week, and at first I was like, oh, great. He didn't get one then. But no, unfortunately, we still have a few more days.
He should
still
have won
sneak it in.
for literature as well. I mean, some of these speeches
Sure.
are...
Well, that poem, the
that card to
Epstein
Epstein,
poem,
exactly.
I mean, that alone should have done it. But we'll see. I'm hopeful. I think we should be hopeful that this is something that sticks. We'll go into more detail on this as it develops, as we see. Hopefully the hostage exchange goes as planned, etc. But I think that we're all well advised to take this with a big grain of salt. I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of it boils down also to how much, Trump is for sure going to use it as an opportunity for political gain. But if this gets this war stopped, fine. And they should give him a peace prize. Just come up with a trophy to give him. Yeah, you gotta get, because otherwise he's gonna come out with his own thing, and then that's gonna be another day, and then it's gonna be more military coming down the street, tearing up the pavement with all of their equipment. Just give him the trophy. Give him a trophy.
Yeah.
It-
Make it a bowling trophy. It doesn't matter. Just something.
Yeah, just
Give him
something.
a fake plaque. Say you won. You won all the possible awards ever. Here you go.
Yeah, it's like when a little kid is playing a video game, you give them an unplugged in controller, and you go, yeah, you're playing the game too. You helping.
You
did a
good,
good job.
buddy.
Shut
Hell
up.
yeah, man. No, I think I'm with you. I don't want him to be showered in accolades, but just shut him up. And also felt clear that if anybody could do anything with Netanyahu, maybe it would be Trump. And then that didn't seem to be holding out. It wasn't looking so good for a long time. And if we can just get the carnage to stop.
But at the same time, there's also a lot of reporting basically saying like, yeah, Biden could have done this. He could have done it so many times.
Could
He
have.
just chose not to put any pressure on them. But that's in the past.
Yeah, I mean, you want to keep using Biden as a I don't know, is it a whooping stick, beating stick, dead body?
Punching bag.
Yeah, punching bag, whatever. Okay, fine, whatever. Just end the war.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Whatever
yeah,
you can do to figure that out. Fine,
and if he gets a Nobel Peace Prize, he might be less likely to do all the other stuff we're going to talk about.
I was going to say there's a
Yeah.
bit of a
here.
tension between the Peace Prize and a lot of his other actions internally in the war on America that he's waging.
So, yeah, speaking of war, let's talk about Chicago, Portland, National Guard, the drama. What updates do we have?
Yeah, I have a few updates this week. I don't have them. They happened, and so I will say them. The Texas National Guard arrived in Chicago. Things are very tense. There we saw a pastor, Reverend David Black, shot in the head with a pepper ball from the rooftop of the ICE facility in Broadview. J.B. Pritzker's on TV, the governor, saying, if you come for my people, you come through me, so come and get me, which is a nice thing to say, although they are coming and taking the people, and that's just happening no matter what. And then, meanwhile, sources told NBC News this week that members of the Trump administration have been more seriously discussing how and when to invoke the Insurrection Act to deploy active duty military troops.
Which, I mean, they've made clear publicly in all their speeches about how that's what they want to do. So it's only a matter of time, it seems.
I mean, Miller really wants to do it. Stephen Miller is like ready to go. There are apparently others in the administration who may have done the leaking to test the waters and show everyone else that this would not be popular. They recognize the political dangers of sending U.S. troops to hurt American citizens, and that there is at least a small chance that the Supreme Court might not let them do it. Maybe they think that's
stopped you in the past.
I know. Yeah.
Surely one day it'll work.
There's so much of this administration last time and definitely this time where you're walking around and you're really hoping that it is hyperbolic, that we are overreacting, but we're not. And it seems more and more likely that they will pull this move. It seems that the conversations have shifted into floating the idea, which is also how this happens. You float the idea a little bit and let it get normalized amongst people. Let all of us yell at each other online, and then you could say they're being hysterical, and then they just normalize the idea and then bring it into action. So that does seem to be the rule book that we're following at the moment.
This government floats illegal suppression of citizens the way you try to slowly get your girl on board with a threesome. Say, yeah, some people,
I do know.
Some people have another person. It's just, hey.
It helped a friend of mine. It helped the relationship.
I heard in
I
Venezuela
heard
they
it
just
helped.
have troops in the streets all the time. What you think about troops in the streets?
I feel like there's multiple personal stories coming out of the rest of this.
Yeah, I don't know if that analogy tracks. I feel like I'm telling too
No,
much
it
of
tracks.
myself. But.
Well, in this case, they just give speeches about it. They get out on stage and he's like, yeah, we're going to be warriors. And then the president comes down and is like, yeah, and those warriors are going to be against American citizens. And they just say
And they're
it out
gonna
loud.
love threesomes.
Yeah, but also the analogy. I don't know where the analogy comes in where Trump is up there saying that something is happening that is blatantly not. Where he's saying, well, you see the governor of Oregon talking and there's explosions going off behind her.
I guess it'd be like all the neighbors are having threesomes, right?
Yeah,
they have the
and
cul-de-sac
your girlfriend's
orgies,
like, that's
right?
not happening. I'm looking through all the windows. I spy on all of them, and they're not doing that.
We never go to the block party, but if we did, you'd see. That's what goes on.
And yeah, in Portland, there's an ongoing court case. It looks like the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which has two Trump-appointed judges on there, is probably going to let Trump deploy National Guard troops there. But it's very interesting. The New York Times reported that in the days before Trump declared Portland as war-ravaged, federal officials described the protests there as, quote, low energy. And then this week, there was footage. Benny Johnson was with DHS Secretary Kristi Noem on top of on the rooftop on top of the ice facility, looking down on what he described in his tweet as an army of Antifa. And it looks like there's a dozen people there, a couple of videographers, and a guy dressed as a chicken. Seems like if you're Benny Johnson and you're on the level, you would not want to post that.
Just don't post it. Just say it. Just say it. You're gonna lie anyway, so just say it without the video.
He can get away with it. It doesn't matter. He could just say whatever he wants, and somebody's willing to lap it up.
I've tried my best to not laugh at these videos, but they're just so ridiculous. Because it's still a surveillance state and oppression and harassment. When there's a guy in Portland in a frog suit, I saw one thing where somebody was in like some inflatable suit and was like not harassing the ICE agents, but like walking up on them, and the ICE agents are like walking back in fear.
They're all backed up, yeah.
The frog, it's the frog he starts thrusting.
And I don't know if it's the same frog or if this was a different frog, but then someone else put a can of mace inside where you like could reach in for the frog, but it's in the ass. So it's like where the frog's ass would be, and like an ICE agent went up through the frog's ass and like sprayed mace, which is terrible because now you're in this enclosed environment with no real fresh air. That's torture. It's abuse.
Yeah, he's trying to poison him.
But also this man reached inside of a frog's ass. And I'm like, this is the most confusing time for democracy. Man, when they show the footage of this 100 years from now,
It's
it's gonna be
absurd.
It's so farcical.
It's going to be a different time.
Yeah, is there anyone dressed as Reptar, the dinosaur from Rugrats, doing like the Harlem Shake in the 1930s in Germany? Do we have like video of that?
Reptar.
I mean, what a treasure trove for historians, future historians. Definitely a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, Frog Suit Man apparently has two. So he did an interview. He's like, oh yeah, it didn't work actually. I couldn't even tell I was maced for like 15 minutes, and then he changed out into his second frog suit.
That's so funny.
They're all prepared for this.
There's a Portland dry cleaner that's like, again? Another one? The mace again?
It's just also so absurd. Just over and over repeating the same line. I mean, same thing that they did in LA a few months ago of this is a war zone. We're terrorizing the city, etc. They desperately want it to actually be that. They desperately want it to be violent and chaotic. And so they just start talking about it. And it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy, though, because you just ratchet up all the tensions and then people show up. But Portland, bless you, with your sense of humor, with your community, with your joy. Keep dressing up in those outfits. Keep making them look as absurd as they are.
Playing the Benny Hill theme at them as they get off the plane. But that's all you got to do. You just have to lie. Like, I mean, there's this quote from Trump from this Antifa meeting that we'll talk about, where he says, the amazing thing is you look at Portland and you see fires all over the place. It's like movies you see for the kids, adults also, with these bombed out cities.
This man.
What's he looking at?
Movies you see for the kids.
Okay.
And also the adults.
It's a great quote from the president, I guess. Never mind.
Well, he should have given more specificity in that a lot of movies are made both for kids and adults these days.
There's also the guy in Chicago. I'm going to give a shout out to the Chicago guy on the bike. I can't remember what he said to ICE, but he told him like kiss his ass or you guys suck to their face. And then he rides off and then realizes he left his cell phone on the ground. And he has to bust a U-turn and ride back to the people he just talked shit to. And he scoops up his phone, and then the agents are like chasing him, but they have not run. And these must be the new ICE agents that they got. Like, these aren't the ones that was already there and in shape. These are the new ones that they recruited, and they couldn't catch the guy from a dead standstill from 10 feet away.
Yeah, that video
sounds
is remarkable. Because when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, this guy got away. That's fantastic." But then I thought they might have been like legitimately trying to get him for some sort of immigration thing. But no, it turns out they were chasing him just for talking shit to them. Mm-hmm. They're just like very thin-skinned and didn't want to just, stand there. They wanted to chase the guy who was mean to them.
That's what you get for hiring people off of Twitter posts, I guess.
Wowie zowie! It's sort of September in that it's the month after September, and Pluto TV is streaming CBS hits for free. Full seasons you love, such as the courtroom drama that is Matlock, or whatever Fire Country is. There's also Ghosts, which is about ghosts, and y'all know I love some ghosts. And of course, NCIS Origins, not to mention BYOB Gravel Island, TGIF, BYOB, FX40, The Brief Misadventures of Horse Dog, A, and also the spinoff B. What else? What else is there? Oh, right. There's Scuba, the self-contained underwater breathing anteater, CSI Dumpster, Barbecue Potato Salad Mysteries 4, The Gun Wrestling Showdown 20V Vampire Edition, and of course, Why? I think that's all of them. All of the shows, and all of them for free. That's full seasons of the CBS shows you love this month only, which was last month, on Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never. Ow! This ad is brought to you by Vive Healthcare, the makers of Apretude, cabotegravir. You never skip your SPF, and you carry hand sanitizer like an accessory. But what are you doing for HIV prevention? One way to help protect yourself from HIV is Apretude, a prescription medicine used to reduce the risk of getting HIV in adults and adolescents weighing at least 77 pounds. You must be HIV negative to receive Apretude and get tested before each injection. If you think you were exposed to HIV or have flu-like symptoms, tell your doctor right away. More HIV testing may be needed. Apretude does not prevent other sexually transmitted infections. Practice safer sex to reduce your risk. Get Apretude as scheduled. Missing doses increases your HIV risk. Don't take Apretude if allergic to it or taking certain medicines that may interact. Tell your doctor about your medical conditions, liver problems, and mental health. Serious side effects include allergic reactions or rash, liver problems, and depression. If these occur, get medical help right away. The most common side effect is injection site reaction. Bring your A game and talk to your doctor. Learn more at apretude.com or call 1-888-240-0340. I think we should talk about this Antifa meeting.
They had this Antifa roundtable at the White House on Wednesday, but it was members of the administration and then a bunch of right-wing influencers who are maybe Turning Point USA affiliated. Jack Posobiec was there. A bunch of these weirdos, Cody, who I'm sure you're more familiar with than I am. And these guys would just like pitch ideas of like, hey, maybe bomb this American city or something, some wild thing. And then the president would be like, well, we're looking into that. Pam, Kristi, like maybe we're looking into this. But
so a think tank.
Yeah, a real think tank.
Live feed think tank.
But we gotta watch this clip right here of Kristi Noem talking about Antifa.
They have been so bold in making sure we're bringing those individuals to justice. One of the individuals we arrested recently in Portland was the girlfriend of one of the founders of Antifa, and that we are hoping that as we go after her, interview her, and prosecute her, we will get more and more information about the network and how we can root them out and eliminate them from the existence of American society.
Eliminate them from the existence of American society. So much to delve into there.
Jeez.
Girlfriend of one of the founders of Antifa.
A friend of a cousin of a brother of a dude.
Of the thing that doesn't actually exist.
We'll prove it. We'll prove it eventually. Or you'll stop asking about it and you'll forget about it and we won't need to.
So she's a member of Rose City Antifa, the Portland-based activist group.
Prosecutor for what? What do you mean, Kristi?
I think that Republicans use Antifa as like this catch-all for all protesters that, just isn't accurate. It's like maybe for some of them, but not all. It's like the way liberals use racist for like people on the right. There's a lot of them. Other ones are just voting their self-interest and they just don't care. Maybe not racist. You just don't give a fuck about people. I don't know. It would be interesting to. What do we expect from this administration other than that? at this point now. Like, this is who Trump. So, remember when we all thought he was dead?
Oh, I know.
Which
Remember that
time?
3 days?
Fool me once.
That was a wild weekend.
This past weekend, I saw some tweets snuck through my notifications of like, it's been X amount of days since we saw Donald Trump. And I'm like, I'm not doing this again, folks. Absolutely not. I bought a travel mic just in case he died while I was on a plane. And no, never again.
He did disappear for like a shorter amount of time last weekend and like 3 days. And now they say that on Friday, he's going for his annual physical at Walter Reed, which he had one 6 months ago, but he's doing it again. So there's some, the guy's got some sort of
wrong with him.
treatment going on, which is fine.
Yeah.
He's 79. He just doesn't want people to know that is his age. So the next clip I want to watch from this Antifa roundtable involves the founding of Antifa.
Thank you.
Because
the
Kristi Noem
contradictions are everywhere in this meeting.
Right. So,
it's all over the place.
Kristi Noem says they arrested the girlfriend of one of the founders of Antifa, but Jack Posobiec, a guy, he's a guy.
He's a neo-Nazi collaborator and sympathizer. I'll just say one of the first things he did in 2016 during the election was go to a Hillary Clinton rally and hold up a sign that said "Rape Melania" in order to cast everybody in the crowd as these terrible people. So he is just a liar from
Rat
the very
fucker.
beginning. Yes, exactly.
So here he is talking about Antifa.
Mr. President, thank you so much for having us here today and holding this roundtable. Antifa is real. Antifa has been around in various iterations for almost 100 years in some instances, going back to the Weimar Republic in Germany.
Going back to the Weimar Republic in Germany. Whose side were you on then, man?
Or they
for World War II?
Or were they anti-Jack?
What were they anti? Who were the fascists that they were anti?
Well,
Say
he knows
more.
he knows what he's doing there. That's an intentional dog whistle, megaphone. I don't know what.
It's political theater.
But it seems like you're at least risking a little bit of Donald Trump like waking up here because he was pretty sleepy during the whole thing, of Trump waking up and being like, "Wait, what are you saying? Antifa was there at the wait.
You don't
wasn't because Trump still thinks that the Nazis were the bad guys. I think he would still agree. Jack Posobiec doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think he I don't think he understands the context of a lot of stuff.
Exactly. But what if he perked up and is like, "Wait, what are you saying? What do you mean that Antifa goes back to the Weimar Republic in Germany?" Continue, go on.
The whole meeting was just bizarre. You have this whole thing of like just anyone who's protesting. At one point, I believe Kristi Noem said Antifa she likened them to Hamas, MS-13, ISIS, and Hezbollah, and said they're just as dangerous as ISIS. So I think they've made it clear what they intend to do.
The problem is that if you start labeling Antifa like those organizations, and you're militarizing, you're changing cities into militaristic zones, then you're approaching some degree of warfare.
That's what it's what they do with the drug dealers, the drug traffickers, and labeling them as terrorists and blowing up these boats of fishermen and saying it's okay, we're at war. But he's also the peace president who wants a Nobel Peace Prize, but he's waging war on alleged like drug traffickers. And then in this meeting, they also said we're going to treat them, these Antifa protesters, whatever, like we treat the drug traffickers and cartels. So what are we to glean from that?
But the fact that we're classifying things in this way in and of itself is so unprecedented. Designating organizations as terrorists has been reserved for non-American citizens,
for terrorists,
not for people here. And notably, there's lots of things that, organizations that one might want to designate as terrorists that we haven't.
Yeah, we have an administration that has declared war. We have a Department of War that is now looking for a war. And they're, from what I can see, declaring war on their own citizens.
Openly, proudly.
Active duty, reporting to domestic cities to walk the street. You're deployed somewhere in Afghanistan, and then they go, I'm sending you to Detroit.
To do what?
6 Mile Road. You're going to walk 6 Mile. and make sure everything's straight. It's like, this is ridiculous.
I have to interject briefly. We don't have to talk much about this. Letitia James was just indicted for bank fraud.
They did it.
Eastern District of Virginia, yeah. U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan presented the case apparently herself to the grand jury. Don't know, as we did with Comey, all of the specifics about it, but that's brand new as of this moment.
Do you think someone's going to get fired
continue.
for not doing a perp walk for her?
It's so interesting. Did they want to do the perp walk when it was announced, or just for the arraignment?
I think I think whenever. I don't think they really care. I think it's just like, as long as we can do a perp walk for Comey.
It's the whole
but
point.
They couldn't. So fire the guy. Maybe they'll get one for her. It's so wild that just for months they've been like, we don't have any evidence. There's no evidence for the thing. You keep saying that she did this crime, but we can't prove it. So leave us alone. And like, okay, well, you're fired. I'll get somebody to lie about it. And it worked.
Yeah, just do it. It's like, no, she didn't do nothing. You're fired. Who's up? Do it.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. And then, yeah.
No, it's like next man up. We're on like our fifth string U.S. attorneys at this point. Like they're putting in practice squad players.
It's not going well.
So speaking of the weaponization of the DOJ, we found out in reporting in the Wall Street Journal on Wednesday night that the Pam message that Trump posted on Truth Social was in fact supposed to be a DM directly to her. I did not believe this until people inside the White House apparently corroborated it to the Wall Street Journal. Trump was surprised that it was publicly posted, him saying, Pam, you got to indict all my enemies. What? We're looking weak if we don't do it. Then because of that,
I love that he
screw-up-
signs his DMs.
Well, he signs everything.
At the end of
It's
it, he's like,
signing your
TJT.
texts. Yeah.
Yeah, sign the checks, sign the texts, sign the DMs, sign everything illegal so they know it was you.
Sign the
Sign
letter
card
to
in
your
the
pedophile
birthday
best
book.
friend.
Yep,
Yeah,
there
oh,
we
yeah.
are.
So Pam Bondi, I guess, got very upset about this when the DM was public. She called the White House, she called Trump, and then they all huddled together and agreed to post that second post where they said Bondi's doing a great job.
It'll be interesting to see at the halfway mark with midterms how many of these people are still here. Or do they all just start falling off like Elon? Even though I still would argue that Elon is still working kind of behind the scenes. He's just not the front man anymore.
I mean, I'm also curious. I have the same thought, although I was expecting more people to be fired or, ousted in some capacity by now. Because it didn't take long first time,
Well, they're all loyal.
I was going to say, I think they all sort of realize, like, it's just the loyalty. That's all you need. Like, as long as I say he's great publicly and do the find fake crimes to prosecute people for, then I can stick around. And everybody getting fired is just people who have some semblance of a conscience who are like, well, I'm not going to do that. And then they go.
Right.
And he's sort of, the first term was a lot of like, well, we can be the adults in the room and we can babysit him and make sure he doesn't do too much. But now it's just everybody like, yeah, let's destroy it all. And they know the game they need to play, it seems.
Yeah, like the Bondi having been on the hot seat in so much as there is a hot seat at all is because she apparently attempted to not discuss cases with Trump, and he internally was upset that she was slow playing this. Like, why hasn't Comey been indicted yet? It's April. What's going on? She did kind of want to stay away from that, said, oh, that's up to the deputy attorney general who's choosing the cases. So toss it to Blanche. And then now he's got this U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia who's doing all the stuff he wants. So the pressure's kind of off her. But all that talk at the beginning of the administration, which was like, don't worry about Bondi. She's like the serious one in this administration. And of course, in these...
She's sane.
Yeah. But in the cabinet meetings, obviously she falls all over herself. Like, thanks to your leadership, Mr. Trump, everyone's got $10 billion now. But like privately, it appears, according to this Wall Street Journal article, that she tried to keep a little bit of distance there. And that's why MAGA's calling for her head.
Held on for 9 months.
Working
but here
for
we are.
this man in any capacity is a bad idea, but I do think being AG for Donald Trump is just a terrible career move. Really bad choice all
torturous.
around. You're going to get fucked. You just are. You're either going to get fucked by him or you're going to get fucked by everybody else once he's gone. That's my opinion. Sorry, Pam.
Sorry, Pam.
But surely she's doing a good job with the Epstein stuff, right?
Oh, right. All that stuff.
She
There
did a
are
good
no
job with
files.
Congress.
She spoke to a Senate committee this week, and there's a interesting back and forth with Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, who is asking her about, this is a slightly longer clip, but I think we can watch it, asking her about allegations of photos that the FBI has of Donald Trump with, quote, half-naked young women. Let's watch this.
Let me ask you something else. There's been public reporting that Jeffrey Epstein showed people photos of President Trump with half-naked young women. Do you know if the FBI found those photographs in their search of Jeffrey Epstein's safe or premises or otherwise? Have you seen any such thing?
You know, Senator Whitehouse, you sit here and make salacious remarks, once again trying to slander President Trump left and right, when you're the one who was taking money from one of Epstein's closest confidants, I believe, I could be wrong, correct me, Reid Hoffman, who was with Jeffrey Epstein on multiple occasions. And the senator sitting right next to you tried to block the flight logs from being released. Yet you're grilling me on President Trump and some photograph with Epstein? Come on.
The question is, did the FBI find those photographs that have been discussed publicly by a witness who claimed Jeffrey Epstein showed them to him? You don't know anything about that. Okay.
We've learned, if nothing else, from this administration how to dip and dodge lies in your marriage. Like if you're cheating, you have every possible playbook. And did you have sex with her? You dare to question me
Yeah, exactly.
when you accept money from a friend who's like, just bring up just whatever, just deflect. It's beautiful.
Or just make a face and don't answer. Just roll your eyes as if you can't believe you've been asked this question.
It's just like also just being like, and you're asking me about these alleged pictures of Trump with Epstein. Well, we also have many pictures of Trump with Epstein already. This isn't out of the blue. We all know the history of these people, but it doesn't matter to them.
Does anybody believe them? I mean, there are a few people that do, but I think more, even supporters know that something fishy is happening here. Even supporters are like, y'all are lying.
It's interesting that her point is like, you're bringing this up, Senator Whitehouse, when you hung out with a friend of Jeffrey Epstein. So you think being close friends with Jeffrey Epstein is bad then?
Is that bad?
Miss Bondi, you agree
Bad or
that
is
someone
that
being
good?
really close with Jeffrey Epstein for like a decade in certain contexts might not be a positive thing?
The contradictions they're overwhelming every day.
Yeah, I think that these people have to implode in their own failures. I just think that logicking them to death, or like even Hakeem Jeffries getting with Mike Lawler in the hallway the other day. I'm like, all right, that's a nice little show. It's not going to make Mike Lawler turn around and go, okay, I should reconsider my vote. Like that part of it, these people are so married to power and corruption that they are willing to do or say anything to stay aligned next to it.
And the getting away with it too is like part of it. Like the sort of the lying, the hypocrisy, the contradictions, all this sort of stuff. It's demoralizing to a lot of people, like as a tactic, and it's kind of they not everybody, but they kind of seem to enjoy it. Like it's like this is part of it. Like part of it is I get pleasure out of like lying to your face and knowing I'm being hypocritical, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to get away with it, and that's part of it too.
Yeah, we've lost truth. I remember those days.
Listening to you guys chat right now, I'm just thinking about where we started, and you're talking about old school journalists and how we don't really have that anymore. And that's because we can't afford to have somebody sitting up there and regurgitating lies and trying to be unbiased about it when it's just wrong. It's really difficult to come across as unbiased in an environment where this lies are just so normal and impossible to contain. So you kind of have to have a perspective. You just can't be a normal. Yeah.
I understand the feeling of futility, though, because it used to be someone would make a claim and then the journalist would fact check it and say, here's the reality, and then move on. But now you have guys like Daniel Dale for CNN who have to say, okay, Trump just spoke for 10 minutes, and then you just have to read off a laundry list of things that are not true that he made up. And it is so dizzying. It must feel like, what's the point of this at all? If you are listening to this guy and you think he's making any sense, you don't care that any of this, that all of it's made up.
And you can't even, you can't fit in a headline. He says like all these lies, like, okay, so I guess we'll phrase it like Trump falsely claims that this, but even that is going to be perceived by half the country, a third of the country,
and
whatever.
Then he'll sue your newspaper.
Exactly.
And then there's that.
And then, and you'll settle, even though you don't need to ahead of time. And then he'll be told by that action that he can just do it for everybody.
And then you hire Bari Weiss to head your news department. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
This back and forth with Sheldon Whitehouse went on for a while, and he asked her about the $50,000 that Tom Homan took. I'm not going to play the whole clip, but basically she keeps going back to this scripted line where she says the investigation of Mr. Homan was subjected to a full review. They found no evidence of wrongdoing. And Senator Whitehouse is like, well, I didn't ask about that. What happened to the $50,000? Did the FBI take it back, or does he have the $50,000? And then she's like, you should ask Kash Patel about that.
I'm sure he'll be very, very, very forthcoming about that. Just ask Kash.
I mean, if he was going to tell you, he would have tweeted it already.
That's true. That's true.
I
You'd
don't
have been
know.
better off subpoenaing a Kava employee and asking them what they saw before Kash Patel gives you the full.
It is like funny. They did this whole thing. It was a sting operation. They got him, and where it all ended up is he got $50,000 to spend on things for himself. Although, has he? Maybe I just haven't seen him on the weekend shows. Has he been kind of like taking a back seat?
Laying
He used to be
low.
on TV 5-6 times a week, and now I have not seen him recently.
He's kind of laying low, it seems. I haven't seen him either.
I mean, he might just be taking some extra time for more he could be taking more bribes at the moment. He's in an underpass right now, or a parking garage, taking bribes.
I gotta figure out all my bribes, baby.
Maybe Kash will finally show some evidence when there's a bullet with $50,000 engraved on it or something like that.
Yeah, there will be a bag that says "Money not for Tom
Money
Homan
not
for
for
up
Tom,"
and up
exactly.
stuff."
Yeah.
Spin this, fascist.
So one thing with Epstein that's kind of still in flux is that Speaker Mike Johnson still refuses to swear in Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva from Arizona. She is expected to be the 218th signature on the petition to force a full House vote on releasing more Epstein materials. Mike Johnson has been really flip-flopping about will he or won't he swear her in, and when or why. He previously said he'd do it as soon as she wants, but then has said that, well, we're going to do it when the House is in session, even though the House is like in a pro forma session, you can still do it, and people have been sworn in before, and there's really no reason not to. There's
one reason not to.
Specifically, recently, to conservative reps from Florida were sworn in a pro forma session, and his excuse was their family was in town. It was a special occasion, something to that effect. I'm sure there's a more specific, but he kept saying, the family was here and we did it, but that was its own unique situation. It's just fucking do it, you coward. But we know why he's not.
But when are Democrats gonna learn to lie and use that to their advantage? I think there's such a desire to be liked throughout your political life cycle by your base that it keeps you from running the games that you need to run to get progress. She shouldn't have said shit about Epstein's list. You won. Don't say shit. And then they'd be
Right.
like, well, when you get in, what's the first thing you're going to do when you get in? She said she was going to vote for the... Shut the fuck up. Well, I'll just get acquainted and hopefully find where the coffee maker is. Tee-hee. And then
play
you
the
get
game.
sworn in, and then you fucking flip the script on them bitches. There's such a desire to, hey, you voted for me, and I'm going to go there and do the right thing. Now you're sitting with no job. You got a job that you can't start at because you talk too much. You got to
Score points online, or raise your profile.
And you
on
already
social
won.
media.
So what more
You already
points
won.
do you
But
need to
that's kind of it.
I would go as far to say is lie, but then you run the risk of burning your base. If you go, I don't see the point in Epstein files being released, then you flip. They'll say you flip because of pressure from your base or whatever. But I don't know. They were always going to block.
But also, it's like, to your point, like it's less like, lie to the American people or lie to your base or whatever. It's like lie to them, lie to your opponents, so that they don't go on the defense and then not swear you in.
Yeah, but then you also have a bunch of reporters in the pool grilling her. If you're elected, what will you do about the Epstein? Shut the fuck up, you motherfucker.
We're trying to do something here.
Trying to sneak in.
Understand the situation. We want those files, but we don't want the files.
It's been so long. What could possibly be in those things that they're still afraid of? I can't imagine. It doesn't matter. So what?
Yeah.
Or it's really bad and it does matter.
Right.
That's the thing.
But what could it be? I feel like if it was something that bad, it would have leaked or come out. I don't want to get my hopes up that when this stuff comes out, there's going to be something really damning for Trump. Whatever could possibly be damning for Trump at this point. But now it's just been built up so much. You think it'll probably be a victory for them when they come out, and it's just like, oh yeah, he was really close friends with all the stuff we know.
Yeah.
What they've done and the way that they have, how fucking suspicious he is all the time, the way he's handled it, the way they all handle it, whatever does come out, if it doesn't implicate the president or whatever, no matter what, people aren't going to trust it. I don't have any faith in whatever the fuck they put out at any point. At all, let alone with this. So sure, release do your whatever thing,
redact
whatever
everything.
you eventually let come out.
Blacken
That's
everyone.
like nothing to see here. You're a liar and you're lying, and I will never ever believe you, and I will be a conspiracy theorist to the day I die. And fuck you for making me that.
I know.
How dare you?
It is frustrating. Like all these people, it's like, well, now I just don't trust anything you say, and you're making me seem like I'm unreasonable. But no, you're the liars. But they're not going to do it.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Please tell our audience where they can find you, plug your shows.
The book is The Man of Many Fathers, available for pre-sale. Just go by it, roywoodjrbook.com. Just do that, and that'll tell you my tour dates, too. Buy a ticket to the tour, you get the book as part of the ticket cost. So there's that as well.
Okay. That's a great deal.
Good deal.
Yeah, indeed.
Awesome.
Well,
Definitely
thank y'all for having me.
do that.
Thank you so much.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. We'll be back next week. And don't forget that we love you very much.
Mash.